Let's talk a little bit about this. Let me bring in my guest, trial attorney Rich Schoenstein, standing by in New York where he practices. Okay, Rich, we've heard the arguments from these attorneys. Can we talk a little bit about the defense, please, and the lawyering? Because I feel like they have the deck stacked against them. I mean, with this client who isn't even likable, you know, and really and truly might have a mental health difficulty that prevents her from knowing right from wrong. I wanted to talk about the lawyering and what her attorneys have done for her at this trial, fashioning that defense, bringing in arguably the best expert witness they could find to try to help her.
Sure, and I'll be even broader than that. You know, this is a tragic, very difficult case, and I think the lawyering on both sides was excellent throughout the trial. The prosecution's case was excellent, and the defense handled it really well. They picked an issue that they thought they had an opportunity to prevail on and went all in on that defense. They didn't waste time with dopey cross-examinations of witnesses that they couldn't get anywhere on. They didn't challenge the sufficiency of the evidence. They've gone with their strongest theory of the case in an effort to win. And the closing arguments on both sides show what we saw throughout the trial. Extremely good lawyers doing extremely good work. And that's heartening because in a difficult case like this, you want to see it well litigated on both sides, and then it's up to the jury to make a decision.
Yes, Rich Schoenstein, love how you just said that this case was well litigated on both sides. No matter what the outcome is, these attorneys gave it their all. The state put on a solid presentation for that young child, for his dad, everybody who loved that little boy, his biological mother. I mean, that child was loved and deserves justice. And the state certainly went at Letecia Stauch hard with lots of evidence, and her attorneys refuted it very well, and even did the affirmative defense here, which just might save her. It just might. The jury's still out, as we know. Rich, I want to play a clip from the prosecution. This is a point in the argument where the attorney is saying that somebody who truly is insane doesn't do the things Letecia Stauch did. Let's watch.
There are people who are truly legally insane, ladies and gentlemen. They don't act like that. If they don't have the capacity to know right from wrong, they're not going to hide the body. They're going to act like nothing happened. They may even do the crime if someone's there watching them because they don't know that it's wrong. Do you think she would have done this to Gannon if anyone was in the room with her? Of course not. They also don't lie. There's no reason to lie because they don't think it's wrong. So they come in and they say things like, my God, I heard a voice that I thought was the devil, and the devil made me do this. I had no choice. Why are you even talking to me about it? That's what we're talking about when we talk about a severe mental disease or defect.
You know, this is tough stuff. Rich, I really feel for these jurors, too, because, you know, it's not just a criminal case, but this is a criminal case with an affirmative defense at issue. You know, unless somebody, you know, has a background in psychology or psychiatry, you know, I think this can be confusing. Your thoughts, please.
I think the prosecution did an excellent job there in closing. I mean, one, bringing it back to the boy, to the victim, I thought that was very effective. But the way they handled this argument is exactly right. A psychotic break could possibly explain the murder. But there's so much that happens after the murder. The body is put in a suitcase. The suitcase is put in a car. The car is driven to Florida to dispose of the body. And then there are all these conversations, and the prosecution really played a lot of the tape during this trial where she's talking to law enforcement, where she's talking to her husband, and she's telling lie after shifting lie to try to evade responsibility. Those are the acts of somebody who understands the difference between right and wrong. Those are the acts of somebody who is trying to avoid being caught And that is not what you expect when you hear about a psychotic break. So I think the prosecution is putting that out there for the jurors and saying, use your common sense, your life experiences. This theory doesn't hold up in light of all of her extensive conduct.
Right. Rich, if you had to predict, what do you think this jury might do and why, please?
Well, I think because of that argument, so for me, I couldn't find not guilty by reason of insanity. I don't think the evidence here establishes the burden or the statutory prerequisites of insanity, which are either that she can't distinguish right from wrong or that she can't conform to the laws of the state. I don't think that's been established. So I'm expecting a conviction here. But Julie, you know how this is. They got to get 12 jurors, right? And if even one of them is of the view that, no, she has a pure mental defect, I listened to her expert witness, I believe that defense, I can't find her guilty. If even one juror holds to that steadfast, there won't be a conviction.
Exactly, Rich. We'll see. They're 4 hours in, and in just a couple of minutes, they're going to begin hour number 5. Rich Schoenstein, always a pleasure having you in the program. Thank you so much for your insight and analysis. We'll see you very soon.